Hi, I'm Gene from the Oak Furniture Shop, and I wanted to show you how to make solid oak panels. The first thing you need is really good lumber. I just brought in this load of lumber. This is all northern Wisconsin red oak. I only buy the very best grade, which is Select and Better, and I also have it color matched so that I don't have to try to pull out different colors when I'm making the panel. So as you can see, it's just really nice looking lumber. The first thing I do when I bring it in is I go through and I check the moisture content of every single board. I have this handy dandy little handheld moisture meter, and with this I can set the moisture at between like 6.5% to 7%, and any board that's even a little over 7%, or if there's excess knots, or if I just don't like the looks of it, I just toss it to the side and I use that for face frames or light glue up, or someplace else where that overall look isn't so important. So when I get done going through this, basically I have a pile of wood that is the very best of the best quality of oak lumber that you can buy. And from there, I start making panels.
So we're going to make the solid oak panel for Warren's TV stand. I'm making him a corner TV stand. Most places that make solid oak panels, they use a joiner to machine the edges of their boards, and I don't think that's a good choice. What I prefer is a straight line rip saw. I bought this Diehl SL52 straight line rip saw. I've got a return conveyor on it. It's really a neat machine. The reason this works so well is when you have these boards, when you're making a panel, what you want is a hollow cut joint. And this is what this machine does. What that means is the center of the board here is just a little bit more narrow than in the ends. And that's really important. And I'm going to show you that in a little while. First of all, let's fire this thing up and let's get these boards cut down. So we have Warren's top all laid up. If you're wondering why this is cut out here, this is actually a corner TV stand, so I'm going to be cutting this at an angle when I get it on the table saw later on. But what's really important here is that you have to create a panel that doesn't have any stress in it. And when this panel is sitting in your house, as it loses moisture going through from summer to winter, all the stress is going to happen right on the ends, because that's where you lose your moisture, or you gain your moisture. So it's extremely important that your ends have absolutely no gaps in them. So I can push this end together, that end doesn't come apart, and I can push this end together, and this end doesn't come apart. Now if we have a little tiny gap in the center, that's not really a big deal, because that you can pull together and that's not going to create any stress. Now this is why this machine is so important, because you cannot build a panel like this with a joiner. Each one of these staves is just slightly more narrow in the center than at the ends, and that's what gives the end that a real tight fit. So this is ready to be glued up. I got it all marked. Let's take it over and put it through the glue machine. We're going to get some glue on these staves. This is a really neat glue machine. Puts a nice even layer of glue on each stave. And this glue clamp machine, I built this, oh my gosh, probably like a dozen years or so ago. Works really nice. So we lay this up. And these clamps flatten the panel out so we get a nice, clean, flat panel. I'd say for a panel this side we're going to need about 3 clamps. One thing that's really important when you're gluing a panel is gluing a panel that doesn't end up with visible glue lines. Now I've had people tell me that they've heard that you probably can't see it in the video, but there's glue squeeze out on every one of these joints. And I've heard people tell me you got to leave that glue squeeze out on there so that it'll fill the joint. But we know we don't need to fill the joint, right? Because we already created the panel properly, so there is no gaps. So what's really important here is that we get the glue off of those joints. So I just go along and Just get all that glue scraped off. That helps that joint dry a lot better. Just a better glue joint. And then also, when I go to plane this panel, these glue joints are really, really hard on planer blades. So this cleans up really nice. So this panel is ready for processing. I will let this set for about a day and then we'll go after it then. And ladies and gentlemen, that is how you create a solid oak panel.